He wants everybody back inside the 45-metre line. The All-Ireland final is underway, and straight away it's Brian Steins back towards Pat Gilroy. Fumbled by Keith Barr, but recovered. Struggling to get away from the attentions there of Greg Blaney, who was hitting out. Nice ball inside towards Dessie Farrell. Quick transfer. Paul Clark lobbing it forward there towards Mick Galvin. Got the goal of the season against Leitrim. Well, that's so far. Maybe there's another one. Charlie Redmond, Dublin's first attack. There's plenty of players in there. That's gone wide. One or two of them might have been in the small rectangle as well. Enterprising kick there by Charlie. By far and away Dublin's leading scorer, of course, with 4 goals and 26 points going into this final. Gregory McCartan bats it down, back towards DJ Kane. Gave the instruction there to Paul Higgins to move outside to pick up the pass. Dessie Farrell got the 3rd goal for Dublin in the semi. Looking now for the first score. Dublin dominated the early exchanges in 1992 as well. Here's Vinnie Murphy. Good ball across. Jack Sheedy throwing it back in there towards McGalvin, partly blocked down. Collins having to come. 3 Dublin players and the eagerness going for that one. And the rain continuing to fall down incessantly. It's raining very heavily indeed at this stage. McDeegan ready to take the sideline kick. Game still scoreless. Micheál McGill, the entertainment's manager, towards Ross Carr. Good long ball. Now the hop here, deceiving Paul Curran. Mickey Linden, the vice-captain of this down team. Paddy Moran coming out, but unable to beat Gregory McCartan. McCartan kicking, looking for the first score, and it just goes over John O'Leary's crossbar. Down go in front. Well, this is a kick here that John O'Leary might well have opted to try and catch on a drier day. It came down on towards the crossbar and over. Conor Deegan chased the whole time there by Pat Gilroy, and that's a free in the act of trying to take the ball up. Mickey Linden, the player who was in with the boot. Mickey Linden really is one of the paciest players in senior Gaelic football. This again the point from our camera inside the goal. Vinnie Murphy. Free to Dublin. Referee really up with the play very smartly. Taken quickly across towards Dessie Farrell's corner. Well, Paul Higgins has shown himself in the past to be a very good man marker. Paul Clark kicking, and that's gone through the post and over. Paul Clark is going to be marked by James McCartan, or maybe it should be the other way around. And when McCartan goes very deep indeed, Dessie Farrell appreciated that Clark is a very good shooter. That's a good point. It will not suit down at all if players like James McCartan and Greg Blaney start to come too deep. Gregory McCartan. Once again, it's Paul Clark. This time Eamon Burns picks it up. Bit of work here for the corner forward, Gary Mason to get at. Paddy Moran belted in well, fisted away by Charlie Redmond. Niall Guyden now popping up on the right hand side. Nicely in for Dessie Farrell. Looked around, considered a return pass, gives it back to Niall Guyden. Angle getting tight, goalkeeper out. And that's gone off the defender for a 45. Some very open play so far in this match. Niall Guyden, the one who's closing in here, that goes off the knees of Niall Collins. Charlie Redmond today playing in a 33rd championship match. Hoping it'll be third time lucky as well, having finished on the losing side in 1985 and 1992. This to try and give Dublin the lead. Little or no breeze about this afternoon, but there is that rain. Good looking kick from Charlie. Great point from the 45. Dublin go in front. Very much the darling of the hill. So Dublin in front for the first time in this final. Neil Collins switching the kick out towards Gregory McCartan. Likely to pop up anywhere. Down towards Aidan Farrell. Back to Greg Blaney, one of the stars of 91. Nicely in towards Mickey Linden, who's been isolated inside there. Linden's getting free. Chance of an equaliser. And he's put it over. That was very close indeed. A point then for Mickey Linden, and the sides are level. Just for a minute there I thought the umpire was going to flag that one wide, but Linden, who got there just ahead of Paul Curran, just measured it accurately, just inside the right upright. Eamon Burns adjudged to have been fouled. Down get the free. Jack Sheedy is back into midfield with Brian Steins and with Pat Gilroy, and effectively Dublin are playing three in that sector. That goes off the boot there of Greg Blaney on towards Mickey Linden. Paul Curran is coming out. Dermot Deasy lending his assistance. Knocking it across here. Dropped down by Jack Sheedy. It was intended for Paul Clark. Came instead to Eamon Burns. Now James McCartan, the wee man himself, trying to steal in for a point. Off the post, comes down again into the waiting arms of Dermot Deasy. Very close indeed. Paul Clark in over the head there of Vinnie Murphy, gathered well by Barry Breen. Down towards Mickey Linden. Oh, great save! That's a tremendous save by John O'Leary. Brilliant save indeed. It may have been James McCartan who got the last touch to it. We'll have to watch it again. Barry Breen knocking it in there, seeing that McCartan had got away. Great save. One of the best of the season. Well, James McCartan stole inside there. And that was certainly a goal chance. There's a change of studs here by one of the down players across to the far side. Is it DJ Kane? I think it may be. So we'll have a 45 when we well might have had a down goal. Ross Carr, normally a very confident free taker. He was practicing frees in the rain in Newry last week. Looks good. It's over the bar. Great point by Ross Carr. We've had 2 points now from 45s. I remember a coach a few years ago of an All-Ireland team confessing afterwards that he hadn't got his free taker to take the frees in the rain during training because he was worried he might get double pneumonia. And there you see the elements being very unkind this afternoon. Brian Stein still to exert a major influence at midfield. So far the down pair, and in particular Gregory McCartan, getting on the ball time and again. Barry Breen, who played that marvellous ball in for James McCartan a little while ago, into Aidan Farrell. And the referee in there quickly. Aidan Farrell is on the ground, and the player being called across is Paul Curran. Paul Curran, who's played just about everywhere for the Dubs, is given the warning. I think the name was taken as well. This is the incident once again here, as Paul Curran was coming across here and the elbow was very high and it wasn't a fair side-to-side charge as the rule book decrees it. So this, a simpler chance for Ross Carr and an opportunity to put Down ahead by 2 points. Down's medical officer is Dr. John Gribben. Composing himself. And was the defence back 13 metres? I'm not sure. I don't think so. They get away with it. And just one between them. And this time a free once again against the Dubs. Too many steps taken. So Keith Barr having a quick word there with referee Tommy Sugru. So once again, there's a down free kick entrusted to Ross Carr. This time the cover back the requisite distance. He measured it nicely. So 2 points for Ross Carr, and Down now leading by double scores. Well, a long, long way to go. Barry Breen tries to break it down. Down very good at getting onto the break and ball very quickly. Towards Mickey Linden. Against Paul Curran, who's having real problems. Linden, and that time it was Jack Sheedy coming back into the back. Quizzical look on the face of Jack Sheedy. Not much doubt about it. Referee all nonplussed by the counter-arguments. This is again where Jack was coming in, and I think it was with the right hand that he managed to bundle him over. So once more the left boot of Ross Carr from Clonduff near Newry. Low enough trajectory, but same result. 3 points for Ross Carr, and it's 5-2 to Down. Really is a miserable afternoon. John O'Leary changing his mind at the very last second. Dermot Deasy going long. Fisted away by Gregory McCartan. His namesake James trying to keep the ball in play, but it's going to be a Dublin sideline kick. Paul Clark unable to hit it fast. Deep one inside towards Vinnie Murphy. We've yet to see the best of Vinnie. Much too near the goalkeeper. Eamon Burns. Gathered up here by Keith Barr. Niall Guyden. Brian Steins back again to Niall Guyden. Now to Jack Sheedy. Scoring not normally the best part of his game, but this is much, much better. Jack Sheedy took his time. Very accurate kick, and it's 5 points to 3. Well, that will certainly settle the Dubs down and give Jack a huge boost of confidence. This time Mick Deegan trying to get to the end of it with Ross Carr. Breaks kindly for Deegan. Sells a dummy. 2 Down players there waiting for it. One of them is Micheál McGill. Has a colleague in support on his right-hand side. Down towards Mickey Linden. One instead by Paddy Moran. McDeegan once again. Charlie Redmond waiting for it. getting there ahead of Barry Breen. Into space towards McGalvin. It comes away off his marker. Back towards Charlie Redmond again. This is a very good move. Niall Guyden attempting to fist the point. That's the second wide for Dublin. And that should have been a score. That was a great build-up. And he'll be very disappointed. Well, for once, the down defence was stretched badly there. A very good move indeed. Brian Steins fisting the way to the left-hand side. Jack Sheedy was the intended recipient. Said it's Eamon Burns who's gone back to right half, and DJ Kane has gone back to left half. Appeals all around. And now it's Aidan Farrell. Back to Greg Blaney. Getting space. Just enough to get it back towards Mickey Linden once again. Linden in towards James McCartan. Drifts away from his man time and again, but Paul Clarke did well. Brian Steins. Long ball up towards Dessie Farrell. Farrell breaks it down towards Vinnie Murphy. Murphy being roared on by the Dublin fans, but he kicks to the right. Two promising attacks now by Dublin in the last couple of minutes, coming to naught. Brian Steins attempting to fetch. Vinnie Murphy fisting it ahead. Dessie Farrell having difficulty in the greasy conditions, holding on. That'll be a down ball. And Gregory McCartan been reminded by the linesman Paddy Russell to take it back. Knocked forward well. Here's Mickey Linden. Here's a goal chance. James McCartan rolls it in. A goal after nearly 18 minutes. That was coming. The Dublin defence ripped apart. It all came from a sideline kick, and when Mickey Linden was in the clear, he could have gone for the goal himself, but unselfishly he placed James McCartan. Broken down again by Gregory McCartan. Barry Breen on towards Aidan Farrell. This is really putting it up to Dublin. Knocked on by Ross Carr. Mickey Linden racing. Paul Curran coming out for it. He leaves it behind, touches it on the ground, and that's going to be a free into down. Nothing going right just now for Dublin in defence. This the goal again from just behind the goal. It was a good knock on initially to place Mickey Linden in the clear. Here's Gary Mason, down with an embarrassment of riches when it comes to free taking. And again, you wonder if the Dublin player Keith Barr was back 13 metres. Ball very slippery, and Greg Blaney running into the official. Nicely back and popped over the bar, brilliantly so by the full forward Aidan Farrell. His first point of the day, and the gap widens. Well, Down have taken a firm grip on this tie, solid in defence, better in midfield, creating openings up front. That was the block there as the ball squirmed outside. Jack Sheedy, and there was where Greg Blaney just collided with Tommy Sugrue. Back live, it's Ross Carr. Referee says it's going to be a free to Dublin. And Pat O'Neill must be most concerned. Eamon Burns, the work rate of this Down team is quite admirable. They play well for one another, and they have the confidence as well of knowing what it takes to win in All-Ireland. They've done it, and this Dublin team has not. Rosscar. Belted in well. James McCartan recovers, then it's tripped, it appears, by Paul Clark. Referee says play on. Aidan Farrell gets it back as far as Conor Deegan. McCartan fumbling to go around Pat Gilroy. Once again it's Conor Deegan in the clear. Oh, he'd love to have scored there. Star golfer he may be, but in front of the posts, well, not of the best. John O'Leary rather screws that one. James McCartan picks it up. He's having quite a battle here with Paul Clark all this while. Ball runs loose and the referee says play on. And it's Paul Curran. Forward towards Keith Barr, pushed in the back by Greg Blaney. Referee going back now to check on James McCartan, is down, injured in that last little collision there. John Gribben there attending to him. One of 4 down forwards playing this afternoon of the 6 who are past pupils of St. Coleman's College in Newry. This is the chase for possession here, and he was really taken out of it rather badly. Deegan placing Pat Gilroy, giving it back towards McDeegan, but he's a lot of work to do. Did well, still scampering after it. Paul Higgins coming up to tidy up Brian Steins. Jack Sheedy calling for it. Greg Blaney coming from behind. The slippery conditions not helping Mick Galvin that time. Nonetheless, it reaches Desi Farrell. Back towards Galvin again, slip sliding around the place. I wonder, has he the correct studs on? Back towards Vinnie Murphy. Kicking. Has he got the range? He has. That'll do Dublin an awful lot of good. Vinnie's first this afternoon. And just 5 between them. The hand pass here, setting up Vinnie Murphy. And a truly executed kick. Conor Deegan, that's a great catch by Deegan. On towards Mickey Linden. But look at the way Down are there in support the whole time, always believing they can get a score. This time denied by Dermot Deasy. Mick Deegan from Pat Gilroy, back to the fullback once more. Playing adventurously. Stopped there by Ross Carr, but fouled on the 65-metre line. Not too many options open for Deasy, so he has to go with the lateral pass here to Paddy Moran. Inside towards Charlie Redmond, runs on behind Micheál McGill. Neil Collins clearing it swiftly. Gregory McCartan. Again, there's always a man in support. This time it's Paul Higgins. McGill driving it. Dublin there in numbers, but it's broken down by Aidan Farrell as far as Keith Barr for the Dubs. Poor ball, gives it straight to Eamon Burns. Mickey Linden powerless to prevent the ball from going out of play. And Dublin, I think, are making a switch in defence, and it appears that Paul Clark is now going on Mickey Linden, and Paul Curran has gone across onto James McCartan, who is now playing top of the left. Gary Mason's come out to left half forward. Meanwhile, Barry Breen, and that time ball was hopped twice, and it's going to be a free to Dublin. Just a momentary lapse in concentration. So just about 10 minutes now to go to half-time. Charlie Redmond has 1 point to his credit so far, that from a 45. This is about the 45-metre line. And very close to the sideline. A difficult kick for Charlie. Will he opt to go for a score? Lobbing it in there. They're all inside. Brian Stein's one of the players in there at the end, and Micheál McGill standing firm. Brian Burns, his fullback. DJ Kane, the team captain. Down towards Mickey Linden, who now has a new marker, as I said. Paul Clark, his momentum carrying him out over the sideline. Greg Blaney takes it quickly. Clark is not back in time to mark Mickey Linden. But the ball has gone out over the sideline. But quick thinking by Down. Paul Curran has made a run across towards Paul Clark here. Aimed towards Pat Gilroy. Took it with one hand. Very good. Nicely forward. This is a very enterprising run with Guyden involved. On towards Charlie Redmond. Back towards Niall Guyden. And he had Dessie Farrell waiting, but he was in the small rectangle. And it's got over the bar. There was a real goal chance there. But Niall Guyden from Raheny more than content with the point. And just 4 points separating the teams. Watch as this builds up here. Dessie Farrell was in there in the small rectangle the whole time. Charlie Redmond back to Guyden. And that's where Dessie was in the small rectangle, but the point counts. Conor Deegan punting it ahead. Once again, Aidan Farrell going onto his knees. Gary Mason now. That curls, and it's over. Great point. The Loughlin Island forward, making it 1-7 to 5 points. This is where Conor Deegan and Dublin in defence have been slow to react when Down breaks so swiftly. Barry Breen again knocked forward, but this time it's Dermot Deasy, with Aidan Farrell complaining that he was pushed out of the way. Eamon Burns runs away from him to Charlie Redmond, outside to Jack Sheedy. Got a good point earlier on. Back to Niall Guyden, who got the last for Dublin. In towards Dessie Farrell, won however by Paul Higgins, colliding there with Brian Steins. Back to Gregory McCartan, one of the newcomers to Championship football this year. Appeals there from Gary Mason. He was being pushed by Paddy Moore, and referee says play on. James McCartan spreading it wide. Mickey Linden having some work to do. Greg Blaney is in support if he needs him. Trying to skip away there from Paul Clark. Again, driving in well, making a better angle for himself, and a great score. A second point for Mickey Linden. He is so difficult to tie down. One of the greats of the game. This one of his best seasons ever, I think. And watch as he came back from this run here to take it onto the other boot and find the point range. Jack Sheedy touches it down. Vinnie Murphy trying to set the Dublin forwards going. Brian Steins constantly moving into attack, going for a point himself from a great distance out. That's a wonderful kick by Steins. So the two named midfielders for Dublin, Sheedy and Steins, have now scored. This is where that ball was picked up, good 40 metres out. It's a great kick. Gregory McCartan was breaking, but the ball didn't reach him. Came to Brian Steins instead. Paul Curran much happier up around right half back. Stopped by James McCartan. Man of the match in the 1991 final. Charlie Redmond has come out to take this. At 47 metres, as you can see, from the down goal. So Dublin 5 points in arrears. Can Charlie do something about that with this kick? Very deep, nicely in. Came out from Barry Breen and there was a down man waiting for it. Paul Higgins nicely forward, lovely combined play by the Ulster champions. DJ Kane. Dublin have been a bit hurried, a bit rushed. The cohesion has been lacking at times. The understanding coming from down. Gary Mason nicely forward towards Mickey Linden, and that time unable to contain that pass. John O'Leary locating McDeegan. Pat Gilroy trying to flick it on towards Deegan, but the first touch isn't there. And Deegan in a little bit of frustration there with his namesake Conor Deegan from Downpatrick. Referee Tommy Sugru having the word there with Greg Blaney. Gregory McCartan in towards Mickey Linden, and Paul Clark still trying to come to terms with the threat posed by Linden, picking out McDeegan. Once again Dermot Deasy makes a run out of the full back line. It's judged well by Micheál McGill. He's playing very solidly. Out to Eamon Burns, showing no ill effects of the injury that curbed his preparations for this match. But when they had possession there, it's rather wasted. Well, Pat O'Neill in a few minutes' time will be heading down for the team talk, and I'm sure he'll have a lot to say. It's still there for the Dubs if they're good enough. Pat Gilroy. Jack Sheedy now. This holds some promise. On his left-hand side, that's a great kick. He's kicking wonderfully this afternoon. A second point for the Garda. And once again, just 4 points between these teams. Right foot and left foot. Jack Sheedy's been able to do it this afternoon. A confident run forward, beating the attempted block by Eamon Burns. Conor Deegan breaks it down for Barry Breen. Use play in midfield. This towards Gary Mason against Brian Steins. Trying to set Dessie Farrell on his way. Not if Paul Higgins has his way, and the trip there by Niall Guyton, spotted by referee Tommy Sugru. And there's going to be a little lecture for the number 12. So Dublin about to have a second player booked in this match. First of all it was Paul Curran, and now it's Niall Guyton for this trip coming in here. Gary Mason just got a nudge as that one came down towards Paddy Moran. Picked up here and then taken to ground by Dermot Deasy. And the referee saying, back you go, let's keep it nice and calm. Bit of common sense needed. Gary Mason, the one who's last up. Referee today was in charge of 2 previous finals, 3 if you include the replay of 1988, and this the incident that's leading to a double booking. Just watch here as that ball was picked up, and then Dermot Deasy took his man to ground. Deasy protesting, the referee isolating the two of them, and so it's Gary Mason and also Dermot Deasy who are having the names taken. And the referee, I think, laying down the law to all and sundry. It may be wet and slippery, but let's play by the rules. Pat Gilroy bursting through the centre here, but the referee says you fouled the ball. They're free to down. Ross Carr this time deciding to leave it to the other free taker in the attack. Well, they have 3 in all, but one of them is Gary Mason, recently booked. Gregory McCartan was also a possible option for taking the free. So on a damp and dismal afternoon, as we're into injury time in a match in which Down lead by 8 to 7 points. A late scoring chance at the end of this first half. Big kick from Gary Mason, tailing to the left. Just the second wide for Down in the first half. Dublin had 3. And the referee saying that's it for the first half. It's been a good competitive first half. Down have looked the better prepared team. Their game plan is working well. They've imposed their will on Dublin, but there's still another 35 minutes to go, and anything can happen. Half-time position here, it's Down 1-8, that's 11 points. Dublin 7. Down looking for a 5th. Dublin looking for a 22nd All-Ireland success. Gregory McCartan straight away. Fouled by Brian Steins. First 5-10 minutes here I think will be absolutely vital. Although having said that, you think about the game we had here 2 weeks ago. James McCartan, he's switched around there. Now playing on the right-hand side. And once again Paul Curran conceding the free kick. McCartan and Deegan causing untold problems to Dublin in defence. Ross Carr getting ready to take this free kick. Two successes out of 3 kicks so far for Ross Carr from the frees. Does it curl in? Straight at John O'Leary. Great save again with the forwards coming in. McDeegan belting it out. Brian White is the linesman here on the near side for the second half. DJ Kane starting over on the right wing once again, and that's gone out of play. It's an interesting statistic, just 3 wides for Down, that the first obviously of the second half. And John O'Leary, who likes to normally take the kick-outs as quickly as possible after the ball has gone wide, but Down are alert to that this afternoon. They're marking very tightly. Jack Sheedy, scorer of 2 very good points in the first half. Trying to get away from Eamon Burns, transferred inside here towards Paul Kern. Kern up in the attack, back towards Jack Sheedy, and that's gone wide. And I think he'll be the first to appreciate that that should have gone between the posts. Well, Jack Sheedy there was supported by Paul Curran. Just look at the expression on the face. If looks could kill. Barry Breen. Ball finding its way back towards Micheál McGill. The foul by Niall Guyton, putting in the boot. Just as Micheál McGill was attempting to pick the ball up. Dublin are preparing Paul Beelan across on the far side. I think the message is pretty clear. Start producing the goods pretty soon in midfield or somebody's gone. Paul Beelan indeed is being brought in straight away. Just 3 minutes into the second half. Beelan coming in for his 16th championship appearance, 7th time to come on as a sub. And as anticipated, Pat Gilroy is the one who's making way. Beelan, I seem to recall, also come on as a sub in midfield for Dave Foran in the 1992 final. That's touched on by Ross Carr. DJ Kane is beaten for it by Charlie Redmond, but Charlie and McDeegan, and that could have been very nasty indeed. Charlie colliding here with the stanchion, which is, as you can see, well covered, has been during this All-Ireland series, just to prevent a nasty injury like that one there. A head injury. Ball awkwardly coming away here. DJ Kane, McDeegan was there with Charlie, they were leaving it for one another, then Charlie collided with that pole. And the post now well protected by rubber material, but still the impact of that really hurt. Well worth putting these rubber coverings in place, because there was always the possibility of somebody picking up a nasty injury. The sheer intensity of McDeegan and Charlie Redmond going for that ball. The attendance today, by the way, 58,684. Well, Dr. Pat O'Neill and Dr. Pat Duggan as well in there, making sure that the Erin's Isle man is okay and able to continue. They really need a big showing from Charlie. He's been their star all season, and thankfully he's able to play on. Fisted down by Beelan, he's positive straight away, but then gives it back towards Micheál McGill. DJ Kane. Niall Guyden going back goal side. And that goes aimlessly into space. And John O'Leary with Aidan Farrell picking himself out from among the photographers. John O'Leary had been given a ball. There's one of the ball boys bringing back another football. Now linesman Brian White is bringing something to the referee's attention. They're getting the best possible pictures for tomorrow's papers. Well, it may be just a case of keep an eye on something. Cut out by Ross Carr. On towards Aidan Farrell. Dermot Deasy out there first time. James McCartan in among the group of players there, which includes Paul Beelan. And James wants to take the free kick quickly, and Keith Barr will not go back the 13 metres. This time it's Gary Mason who'll come and take the free. But again, James McCartan causing lots and lots of problems. There was a free kick in the first half for Down, and Dublin, I don't think, went back the full 13 metres. This was from the 13-metre line at that stage, and that could well have been a penalty, or so the rule book says. Now Gary Mason. No trouble this time. Second point for Gary Mason. And now the first score of the second half, coming nearly 7 minutes into the half. What they're playing for, the son of Sam. But will it be going to the Mountains of Mourne? Or will Sam be with Molly Malone and Biddy Mulligan for the next 12 months? Free kick, Dublin want to take it quickly. And the referee says, up you get. It really is a wretchedly damp afternoon. Certainly not contributing to the entertainment. Paul Curran. So difficult to get space. The pressure there from the down forwards created that move there where he kicked the ball out of play. McCartan is urged on by the people on the bench over there. Son of Jim, of course, who won All-Ireland medals in 1960 and 61. Gary Mason has it, thought about a pass. And then it's Dermot Deasy who picks out Paul Curran. Long, long one down towards Vinnie Murphy. We've yet to see the best of Vinnie or Dessie Farrell. Just losing his way momentarily, regaining his composure and possession. A hopeful kick and an accurate one. Great point. The first of the afternoon for Dessie Farrell. So once again, as at half-time, there's just 4 points between the teams. And how a goal for Dublin would really open up this match. This is Dessie Farrell kicking with that left boot. Great point. Good kick out into that congested area in midfield. Jack Sheedy coming away from it, winning the breaking ball. DJ Kane looking up to see who's moving off the ball here. Greg Blaney. Back once again to Ross Carr, the referee having to get out of the way quickly. Jack Sheedy was there as well. Aidan Farrell now caused many problems to Dermot Deasy in the first 20 minutes. Mickey Linden. Jersey's been pulled there, but they're powerless to dispossess him. Greg Blaney fouled, free in. At times the Dublin defence being run ragged. This is where Linden had a couple of players after him, and then Greg Blaney, the player who was fouled by Keith Barr. An unhappy afternoon so far, but there's still plenty of time. This time it'll be Gary Mason. 1 out of 2 so far from frees for Gary Mason, and make that now 2 out of 3. His 3rd point of the match. And Down lead by 110 to 8 points. Once again, John O'Leary opting to go short to McDeegan. Dermot Deasy now taking it up. Jack Sheedy struggling to keep the ball in play. Their passing out of defence has been less than certain, very often taking the wrong option. That time, Jack Sheedy not back 13 metres. Referee bringing the play forward. It's a real struggle of an All-Ireland final. Gregory McCartan hit deep inside there, missed by a number of players. One of them was Brian Steins, and that's gone off a defender. It'll be a 45, a second one for Down. Very dangerous attack, that. Paul Clark having the difficult assignment of keeping tabs on Mickey Linden. Paddy Moran is ready. And once again, Gary Mason to kick. Slipping as he hit it, and Brian Steins gathering, but it's won back by Greg Blaney. The Belfast-based dentist finding it inside towards Farrell, cooking for a goal, and Mickey Linden has to be content with a point. That's a 3rd for Mickey Linden, but Down were very nearly in for another goal. They've had the greater number of goal chances this afternoon. Again, it's taken quickly and short. Brian Steins. Long ball. Gregory McCartan and Conor Deegan. Charlie Redmond winning it. Nicely on here for Paul Curran. Curran to race at the down backs and go for his own score. Much, much happier to be well away from the corner back position, in particular Mickey Linden. Seen as a scoring threat. And once again, Dublin considering a possible change. Pat O'Neill can use 2 more subs, of course. In midfield, it's Ross Carr, who's got fresh gloves, but he leaves that one behind to Mick Deegan. Outside to Paul Curran, loves to press forward. Carr in pursuit. Runs away from the 2 of them. One back. Down playing well as a unit. Ross Carr out of defence. Jack Sheedy back there, trying to set up a Dublin attack, trying to bridge the gap. Dessie Farrell inside towards Charlie Redmond, released beautifully to Niall Guyden. Slightly off balance as his kicking, and that's got away to the left-hand side. Dublin's 3rd wide of the second half, and they're 6th in all. Big roar from Hill 16. Big roar from the canal end as well. The rival supporters getting behind their team. Fisted away by Jack Sheedy into space. Nobody there for it except Micheál McGill. Trying to pick out Mickey Linden. The broken ball here, won by Greg Blaney, knocking it on well to Mickey Linden. There are real possibilities, 4 against 2, not counting the goalkeeper, and Linden goes for the point, sensibly so. His 4th. Down are flying. Nearly 15 minutes into the second half. This was a great attack, but look how stretched Dublin were, just 2 backs there, aside from the goalkeeper. Satisfied look on the face of Pete McGrath. His team doing him justice. Vinnie Murphy trying to curl one inside here, but Dublin now playing like individuals and lacking the cohesion up front in particular. DJ Kane. Dublin needing to settle. It's a critical stage in the match. They have to get some scores, and quickly. DJ Kane winning that race for possession with Niall Guyden. Down get the free kick. And the Ulster champions in no particular hurry now. Paddy Moran, the latest one to have James McCartan to mark. McGill, touched last by Gregory McCartan. Desi Farrell, very deep now. Well, that's in there towards Vinnie Murphy, who's pulled down by Barry Breen. Dublin have the free. And Dublin now also taking the opportunity of bringing on a fresh player. Sean Cahill is the one who's about to come in as we watch this replay. Vinnie going to ground, courtesy of a tackle by Barry Breen. Well, Sean Cahill then coming in. He has previous championship experience, played during the Leinster Championship, and we're still waiting to see just who is coming off. And the referee holding up the match for a second to say, hang on, you can only have 15 on. And I think it's going to be Mick Galvin who goes as Charlie Redmond kicks and finds the range. Just his 2nd point of the match. Down have done well in not fouling in key positions, thereby giving Charlie the chance to kick. And it's 112 to 10 points. Conor Deegan breaks it down. And as ever, there's somebody there responding to that. This time Gary Mason getting support here from Barry Breen. Fisted away here by Paddy Moran. McDeegan waiting for it. Selling a dummy to James McCartan. Brian Steins. And Niall Guyden take many, many steps that time. Jersey was pulled by Conor Deegan. Play on, the referee says. Charlie Redmond opening up the play, this time across towards the freshman who's come on, who's Sean Cahill. Back to McDeegan. Hoping this one will curl inside, but no such luck. Groans of disappointment up on Hill 16. And a look of disappointment as well on the face there of Deegan. Great place to watch a match from. Great place if your team wins, but if they're losing, it's miserable, I'm sure. Good call there from Paul Beelan to claim that one at midfield. Good catch. And this time Jack Sheedy putting the head down, going forward with purpose. He had support. Brian Steins is alongside him. Needs to release it quickly to Charlie Redmond. Here's a goal possibility. Micheál McGill got a good block on that. It comes out to Gregory McCartan. Real goal possibilities there. Just what Dublin needed. And they need now to generate more momentum. Keep down under some pressure. Vinnie Murphy, bad pass. Charlie was waiting for it. It's Micheál McGill. He's played soundly all through. Vinnie Murphy now, as you can see, in there at full forward. Not a good free kick. Pressure now is back on the down defence. McDeegan. In towards Desi Farrell. Reaching out as well, there was Paul Higgins, who got the last touch. The umpire says it was clearly the forward. Pete McGrath now appreciating that there's just 15 minutes left. Sean Cahill beaten for it, but might recover. Does so. Cross towards Vinnie Murphy, trying to set up a scoring chance for Niall Guyton, who was pulled that time by Brian Burns. The referee says, just take your time. Dublin's free kick. I think Guyton was thinking about a very quickly taken free. This to try and eat into the down lead once again. Charlie with 3 frees. This is latest one. Straight over the bar. So as before, the lead is down to 4 points. It's still there for the taking. Down still have to win it. Dublin want to win it very badly. Paul Curran out there to win that ball fast in very awkward conditions, and Barry Breen stuck with him the whole time but was leaning in on top, and the referee now stepping in quickly because the ball wasn't released fast enough. It comes out here to Paul Beelan, going for an individual score. Kept down well. Neil Collins put under some pressure, having the confidence to link up with Brian Burns. Swept away to the far side. The Dubs now, you feel, will really torment down if they can at all. Paul Beelan, his introduction was a good one. Gregory McCartan. Well, Dublin need a bit more accurate passing. Meanwhile, it's the Dublin backs who have to contend with Mickey Linden and company. But that time, as his jersey was being pulled, he lost possession. Paul Clark to Paul Beelan, or rather to Brian Steins. Steins up quickly to take it himself. Micheál McGill. How often the ball seems to come to him. 2 players down injured as Charlie kicks it inside. Sean Cahill coming onto it. Possibilities of a score here as he goes very, very far back indeed towards Niall Guyton. Well, they're taking the tourist trail towards the down goal, and that's gone wide. Paul Curran, the one who got the final kick on that. Well, all that was happening down still with a player down injured. It seems to be Micheál McGill. He collided, I think, with Charlie Redmond earlier on. Now, was it a tangle or was there a foul? I think the down fans fancy it was the latter. Well, let's just see if we can throw some light on what happened just before that happened. I think it was a blow delivered after the ball was passed. This worth taking a look at again. Right-hand side of the screen. And I think it's Vinnie Murphy, the player involved, and for that he's had his name taken. Micheál's okay from scenic Warren Point in County Down. Down fans on the canal end. Tickets were so hard to come by as Johnny Barr warms up if you can warm up in these miserable conditions. Gregory McCartan takes that one with some style. Good delivery in towards the forwards. Mickey Linden. Paul Clark, the one who got a boot to it. Niall Guyden tried to take it up. Ross Carr showing greater composure. He's fouled. Straight at Paul Clark, who didn't retreat fast enough, and the referee Tommy Sugar says we'll bring that ball forward 13 metres. Ross to try and force the pace once again. Aidan Farrell takes it well. Kicking, but straight at John O'Leary, who now has the chance to build up from the back. Remember, just 4 points between the teams. It hasn't been the classic we'd hoped for, by any means. As you can see, 10 minutes left. Gregory McCartan kicking. Mickey Linden trying to take it at the end, but it just ran away from him. And Dublin now prepared to introduce their third and final substitute. Johnny Barr putting on the gloves. I'm sure Dr. Pat O'Neill has said, Offaly did it 2 weeks ago in 5 minutes. We've now got 10. Gregory McCartan breaks it down, but Mick Deegan coming forward. Sean Cahill playing in his first All-Ireland final. Good control, great shot, and a wonderful point by the substitute. And that will do Dublin a lot of good. Just 3 between them, a mere goal separating the sides. Great move here by Sean Cahill, a young player showing wonderful composure. Niall Guyden is the player who's been replaced by Johnny Barr. So we now have 2 Bars in the Dublin team. That breaks away there towards Paul Curran, and again foul in the act of taking the ball up, free to Dublin. They need everything at this stage. Curran, great deep one towards Charlie Redmond, coming down towards Johnny Barr. First touch, released outside here. Desi Farrell trying to swing, it's a penalty! Had to be. Desi Farrell taken down, up on Hill 16. They believe there's still time and still hope. This is the attack that led to all of that. Down at 6s and 7s, Charlie Redmond in there. Johnny Barr just swung the boot at it. Watched as it went outside towards Desi Farrell. And Farrell with Paul Higgins there and Brian Burns. He went down. They said penalty. Referee agreed. Well, this year in the championship, there have been 13 penalties, 7 goals and 1 point scored so far. So this is the 14th goal in the penalty. Charlie scored against Kildare already in the championship from a penalty. And this one has been stopped. And he's put it wide. Oh, Charlie Redmond. The gods did not smile on him. It happened in 1992 as well. Then against Donegal. Now against Down. And that was straight at goalkeeper Neil Collins. And he had a chance to follow up as well. Real drama now in the last 7 minutes. Collins a hero. Well, it's become a game of heroes and villains. Paul Beelan to Paul Curran. Charlie Redmond. Micheál McGill. How often in this match the ball has found the right corner back. And Jack Sheedy saying out of my way quickly to Mickey Linden. Dublin have been the nearly team in recent years. Down have looked the better side all through this match and all through the championship. But they lived dangerously in the last couple of seconds. This is picked up by Jack Sheedy. Paul Curran now. Good deep one. Paul Higgins under pressure from Desi Farrell. Ball runs on, touched on the ground, free kick. Free to Down. Well, Down have built up this big lead earlier on, but now it's some 14 minutes we make it since they last scored. Tense, nervous minutes for Pete McGrath and the selectors. Encouragement being roared on there. Gregory McCartan takes it. They need a score now badly, just to stay comfortably ahead. They lead by just 3 points. Ross Carr, high and hopeful, but away to the left. Down 6 wide of this match. Dublin have had 10. Down quickly, closed down any possible loophole there, as John O'Leary was thinking about a quick kick out. Jack Sheedy handling it well. Running well away from Gregory McCartan, towards Charlie Redmond, back beautifully. Sheedy needs a score. Johnny Barr kicking left. Oh, that went through the legs there of Barry Breen, and it's gone for a 45. And Dublin have been close on a couple of times now in the last few minutes. They want to take the 45 quickly. 5 minutes left. This is where Jack Sheedy was showing some power and good control. On towards Johnny Barr, really lashed at it through the legs of Barry Breen. He got the last touch. Well, Charlie Redmond has come out to take this 45. He scored from a 45 earlier on in the game. This is a vital kick. And he's put it wide. And nothing is going right for Charlie. Banged his head on the stanchion into the bargain during the second half and missed the penalty. Down the team, as we said at the outset, with the 100% record in All-Ireland finals. Is this to be title number 5, or is there a way back for the Dubs? Conor Deegan trying to break it down. Eamon Burns partly blocked over there by Dermot Deasy of all people. A game that's been played in a downpour all through. Never really reached the heights we expected. Not that Down will mind that if they go on to hold their lead. Mickey Linden back to Ross Carr, who started the move. Dermot Deasy cutting it out. Aidan Farrell had been in position. Brian Steins. 3 points separating the teams. As Steins beats Eamon Burns. Nice pick up by Johnny Barr. Back to Steins again. Came back from Australian rules football to play in his first All-Ireland senior final. Charlie Redmond. Dublin needing a bit of luck. Down needing to hold out, keep their lead. Paul Curran trying to dodge inside. Charlie's there, comes back off Barry Breen. Recovered here again by Paul Curran. Ball fed outside, was it a throw? The referee says it was, and it's going to be a free out. Well, Tommy Sugar has been right up with the play from the very first whistle. He looks most disappointed, the team manager. Down never really allowed Dublin to impose their will on this game, except for some moments during the second half when there were a few chances. But overall, the better performance has come from the Ulster champions. Now, can they hold their lead? Not if Sean Cahill and company have their way. Free on the 65-metre line. Down back quickly to pick up loose men. That's taken too quickly, and the referee spotting that there's a down player on the ground. Conor Deegan, the injured player, attended by the team doctor. Looks a nasty one. Might be worth taking a look at that again. Sean Cahill coming through. Referee was watching the free kick being taken quickly, and then he called it back, realizing that Conor Deegan was in considerable distress, having been injured moments earlier. We may just get a chance yet to see what happened here. Two Dublin players colliding with him, and one of them there was Paul Clark, and he came down very awkwardly indeed, the down number 9. Keith Barr has taken the free kick. In deep it goes. Micheál McGill out there fast once again. Ball booted. Johnny Barr in there chasing. And Ross Carr, the right half forward, is way back around his own full back line. What they have, they hold. Gregory McCartan, Mickey Linden. From time to time, it's been a brilliant down performance. Linden looking for a point, perhaps to kill off the Dublin challenge. John O'Leary played outside here to Sean Cahill. Conor Deegan now limping. Perhaps they should consider a very late replacement, because effectively they're down to 14 players. Jack Sheedy on for Mick Deegan. Dublin have to get a goal. They've got a free in. We're almost into injury time. Conor Deegan is being replaced. That's taken quickly towards Jack Sheedy. Can Dublin conjure a goal from somewhere? They've got a point from Charlie Redmond, but perhaps too little too late. It's now at the discretion of the referee. 4 points for Charlie Redmond. Jared Colgan is the player who's come in for Down to replace Conor Deegan. Well, I remember in 1991 a certain first round of the Leinster against Meath, and you remember then that Meath came so late. That's what Dublin are now hoping, as Conor Deegan is treated off the field. Down are ready to celebrate. How much time will the referee add on? Neil Collins wondering. It's now down to Tommy Sugru. How much time is left? Dublin need possession badly. Keith Barr down towards Charlie Redmond, broken down to Vinnie Murphy. Two between them. Ball runs loose. The enterprising kick there from Brian Steins, producing absolutely nothing except to waste a few valuable seconds. Down are ready to celebrate. The contrasting faces there of the two goalkeepers. John O'Leary so disappointed. Neil Collins expecting the whistle at any moment. Jared Colgan, the substitute, touching that one down, and that's going to be a free to Down. A boot sliding in there, and the prize on offer. One of the most famous trophies, or perhaps the most famous trophy in Irish sport. All eyes on Tommy Sugru, and it's all over! Down are the All-Ireland champions from 1994. They won it in 1960, 1961, 1968, 1991, and now this year. And their record in finals is unblemished. 5 out of 5. Well, they may celebrate. It was a great team performance overall. They faced some worrying moments from John O'Leary's colleagues in the second half, in particular when the luckless Charlie Redmond missed the penalty, which was saved by Neil Collins. And so, trophy presentation time in just a few seconds' time. Dublin will be so disappointed, having come so near in recent years. Paul Curran made some great runs forward. Dermot Deasy moved out around midfield at times, but now it's time for Down to claim their trophy.